Greetings guys, thank you for joining me. Gemini, this is your reading for July 2020. I'm uploading this video now in the middle of June, just before the lunar eclipse is about to happen. I get a feeling for you guys that this ecliptical season, which runs from June and into the beginning of July, is going to play a pretty big role in your emotions and situations and events that unfold both over the period of the month of June and July. I'm also getting, which seems logical, I know, because you're an air sign anyhow, but I'm getting that communication is going to be key for you. And I think it's communication in how you speak, what you say, who you speak it to, as well as having open communication. Now, again, that seems logical because you're Gemini, you're the air sign, it's all about communication. But I have a feeling that in this particular time frame from June, July, and actually probably even through to the latter parts of 2020, there's a lot of strange energy around our communication, and that's at the collective level and at the personal. So it might pay to be cautious of how you word something or how you phrase it, and especially when you write something, whether it's just an email to someone or whether it's a legal document. I would think be careful how it's written, what is said in it, because it could come back to have ramifications one way or another. But saying that, let's tap into what's in store for you through the tarot cards. This is a Doreen Virtue Fairy deck. It's a really positive, light deck, and you know, the illustrations in all of the Doreen Virtue works are really, really beautiful. It actually seems such a shame that she no longer utilizes them and finds them you know, tools of destruction, one might say. So let's look into this for Gemini for July, and also because I'm uploading it in June, I find that when I do work, it pretty much starts to be activated straight away. So I pull from the collective conscious energies. So whatever's around at the time can tend to show up and also be a little bit of an activator. So a whole bunch have come out together, and I think they want to be in the reading. The first one from the top is the Eight of Summer, which is the Eight of Cups. The desire for a more meaningful life, realizing that it's time to move on, choosing to make major life changes. Now, I do feel that we are in some sort of timeline right at the moment for everyone, for Gaia as well, on the planet, where we are going through like incredible change at every level. Nothing is going to remain the same. I've said this from late 2019 or even earlier, that as we merge through this decade of the 20s, which is a long time, it's 10 years, but by the time we get to the other side of the 20s, life isn't going to be anything the way it is now. It's going to be so vastly different. So even though that's from a collective perspective, it affects us inherently, individually as well. So change is, I think you could say, it's the forerunner, it's the powerhouse, it's the giant, it's the grunt machine of what is happening for everyone at the moment. So if you're not au fait with change, or you wish it wouldn't happen, or you don't want some things to change, you're going to have to rethink your perspective or change a direction or let it go. And that's what this one is saying. Let it go and allow yourself to move on. And that was the first card that came out. So it is the Eight of Cups. Now the Eight of Cups can also be referencing things that have happened for us in a period of time that may have been out of balance. Now we can see collectively, of course, at the moment as well, and I'm referring to mid-June, that there are many, many things out of balance in society, and it seems to be reverberating around the planet. These overall collective or broader energies, even if you might not feel it's affecting you personally, and you might go, look, whatever is being talked about at the moment, you know, I don't have an opinion on, or I'm not affected by it personally. You are. There is no escaping the fact that we are all highly connected. We are one. So what happens to one, or what happens collectively, inevitably threads through our own emotional, vibrational frequencies through us. So as I say, change, unfair situations, being prepared to move forward. Now this might happen at any different level in your life. It might have been personal, relationships, health, finances, career. It might be a collective community or a family issue. But it feels as though it's telling you to be ready for this change in direction, ability to move into what actually is moving into the light. If we see it up here, this path that she's on is taking her actually into a lighter area. So the next card that came was the Two of Wands. What a vibrantly coloured, active, white light card. It says a bright future manifested through hard work and creativity, partnering with others who share your dreams, great progress being made. Now I feel that that is a message coming after this one here, where perhaps you felt there was something out of balance, or it wasn't registering for you, or it wasn't creating harmony, or you weren't receiving positivity from a certain aspect in your life at the moment. As you walk into the light, this is what starts to come. So for some of you, this may have been from a creative perspective or dynamic in your life, which could be around a career or just something you're passionate about. I often find that when the Wands cards come out, it can be referring to our creative side, so like writing or producing something or forming something from the thought field into this realm, so making it into a real item or object or process. Now this can be, as I say, with careers, or it can be more at the creative, passionate side of life. It feels as though there's positive change coming, and for some of you this is career. Now we know that a lot of people have suffered financial loss and hardship over the period, probably since February of 2020, when lockdowns started to appear and financial tightening also appeared globally. So a lot of people have had restrictions or loss of job or lack of income or less money. This feels to be lightening for some of you, and there may even be good prosperity or opportunities coming. Now I see the boat turned upside down. This is like a wee dinghy, and I think of travel or waterways. So water may play a role in this for you. Now this water could be referring to your emotions. It might bring emotional freedom. It might be allowing you to feel lighter or to feel movement or direction in a certain way. It might be that water sign people play a role. So someone that you are partnered up with, or someone that you meet, that could be a merger or help manifest something through work and creativity. It could also reference that you spend time around water, bodies of water. This might be like a summer holiday or an escape or a getaway or retreat. And some of you may even be on boats, or boats may be associated with this. It could be that someone travels to you or you travel to them. Now again, this could be at the metaphysical, so you might have spiritual connection traveling that's involved with people. Now I'm referring here to things like astral travel or deep dreamscape times where you meet someone or you meet with them at the soul level. So for some of you, there might be a really deep soul invigoration, like connection or awakening, or a meeting or event that takes place with some of you, and you might experience it and remember it, and others of you might not realize that you are going through something like this. As I say, it might be in the astral dream time or lucid dreaming in particular, and some of you may not remember the dream afterwards, but a connection will have taken place. Now this could enable something to be then come to fruition in the real time. So I feel there's something quite amazing that's going on in the background for you guys. I would be really interested in just keeping yourself aware of potential vibrancy around certain events or people or outcomes of situations any time from now, mid-June, through July, right up to November, because this feels as, I don't know why I'm getting such a powerful blast of energy about this message. But the next one we get for you guys is the Justice card, which is one of the major arcanas. And it says, take time to review the details carefully. And in fact, I've kind of just said that to you. I think, and I said it at the beginning, there's something about communication, or definitely details, and what is said. Now, you will win in the end fair and objective decisions. The Justice card is playing out on Earth at the moment in a big, big way, and we can feel this through the Black Lives Matter movement and the tragic loss of George Floyd. So justice is a karmic card, and when the karmic card comes out, and it's come out for humanity, so this is a really big event change that is taking place at the collective conscious, and as I say, it affects us all individually. When the Justice card comes out, it's a karmic message. So some sort of deep trauma, karma, is being healed or being released globally around the planet, and individuals will feel it. Now, for some reason, some of you Geminis may be very entrenched in this feeling or activation that's taking place in terms of karma. And it might be the global karma energy that you are entwined with personally yourself. But for others, this could be about your personal life and introspection and change of direction and freedom. It could be some of you have a court appearance that you are going to have to appear in, and sometimes this is family related matters. Usually it means that you will do well out of it, that justice will be served. So if any of you have a court appearance to go to for any reason, go in and go well and present yourself to the best you can. And here's the other part of that message. You must present clearly. You must have all the information and all of the details. Take time to review the details. And that's important for some of you, especially if winning this situation, not winning, but if coming out of this situation in a positive light is really important. And for some of you, this has been a long standing issue, and it could be things like divorce proceedings or family court cases or sexual harassment, even with the church or the government. It could be things such as legal constraints that might have been put in place around your employment, or even health issues that you're battling to fight. The other perspective of this Justice card is that it is karma, and so the wheel of karma is turning personally for you as well as in the collective field. So can you see what I mean when I started the reading and I said this is incredibly powerful time, and I feel that Geminis are really in amongst it for some reason. So as a Gemini yourself, this is, and whether this is your sun, moon or rising, this is a time of intense, maybe scrutiny, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but intense diving deep and really figuring out what you want, what you need, where you're headed, how you want to get there. And remember this one too, because I think this one plays quite a vibrant role in decisions and movement forward. The last card that jumped out was another major arcana for you. It's one of my all-time favorites. It is the Fool. So embrace your true purpose, begin a new adventure and trust yourself. And the Dreamer or the Fool was at the beginning, was at the end of this pile. So all of these other messages wanted to be said first, and this is the end point. And we can see that because we started with the Eight of Cups, about leaving behind things that are no longer right for you. And then we went through these sort of initiations and dealing with justice and letting go of karma. And as you let go of that, you free yourself into this wonderful freedom, which I talked about as well, of the Fool and moving forward. The Fool is definitely about the individual, about you. It is not about necessarily thinking of everyone else at this time frame. It's about reorganizing, readjusting, re-understanding and reconnecting with you, with your whole soul, your whole self, and the journey you're on. You may be tempted to go out in a hurry, and you may not necessarily think of all of the implications, and this is where this partnership may come in, and it is also where the message came in that said take the time to review the details carefully, because when the Fool doesn't review all the details as the Fool makes the journey into the new life, there can be pitfalls, and there can be times where you are slowed up on this journey. Great new beginnings are there for you, and some freedom is coming, and some karmic debt is being paid off, and some connection to the global karma at whatever level that is for you. Freedom from shackles or claims against you, or any lawsuits or legal implications that may have been slowing you down or holding up a process. And this could also be to do with business associations, forming new cooperative events, or conglomerations with people as well. So I really like the cards that came through, but it was very strong, the messages that came, and they really did want you to listen to the synergy of the story that was behind the cards. So I think that's enough from that deck there. I'll just very quickly pick a couple from this deck. These are the Energy Oracle cards. So we've received these powerful messages for Gemini, but what would you like to tell them from this deck? This is for Gemini for, oh, I'll just retrieve that. Gemini for June and July. Now this guy came out and I really don't like him. I think this is where you might have been, you know, there was a little bit of, not warning in these other cards, but moving on from things that didn't serve you and paying attention to details in particular, and the Justice card. This guy may have been playing a role somewhere in your life, and he is the person of deceit. When he's around, be very careful of everything you do. Definitely take the time to review the details and try not to associate with these people. They can be great charades. They're great at pretending, and they're great at fooling you. They have what appears to be an outer shell that looks normal and civilized, and they may be putting an offer to you that you think, wow, yeah, that's really cool. I'd like to get into this. It's fake. You need to be really careful at this time. There is a lot of fakery on the planet. There is a lot of deception and deceiving, and it is part of the purging of this justice and this karma that is coming. So if this guy or person or energy has been around, drop it, move away, and watch your finances. Do you see what he has in his hand? All those gold coins. So sometimes this means your money may be at risk. Watch out where you choose to invest. Don't get caught into any quick schemes. Don't invest money in something that's not legal and above board. And yeah, just watch all those things. He is not a pleasant character, but he is a warning card, and I always say thank you for the warning, because forewarned is forearmed. So what else is in here for Gemini for June and July? So yeah, just be careful of your money. It may even be someone at work, and it may be something to do with your work. It may be something like a boss who says, look, you know, we're really hard up because of the virus issues, and you have to take a pay cut, or oh, we have to relieve you of your job temporarily. There's just things to look into or just be careful of. But you've been given the beautiful energy of the 7th chakra flow in life. Archangel Uriel is here for you as well, so you can call upon this angel during the month of July in particular. And of course, June and July are your birthday month as well, so there's, you know, it's Gemini time on the planet. So this is another reason why it's quite profound, and why these activations, energies, and astrologically you're in the the main line of fire, if you like. This is your crown chakra up here, and this is where you tune into the collective conscious energies, to your higher self, your soul. And this is when you are in tune with this and you're vibrating at the frequency of the cosmic energies, you receive answers. You can be intuitively on top of things. You connect with archangels, celestial guides and helpers, and they lead you in the right direction, and they provide you with insight as well. Another angel, the angel of balance, and that was of course your first card, the Eight of Cups, when it said leave behind something that is not balanced or serving you anymore. So we're sort of coming back around here to the same message, but again you're being brought balance of mind, emotions, thoughts, energy, relationships, health and finances. And the last one was the door to romance, which is nice for those of you seeking to ignite the romantic energy in your life. Now, if you're already in a partnership with someone you love, then this can be a reawakening of romance. It can be re-establishing the communication pathway, especially if you've had trouble with a relationship and you haven't been communicating well. And that's where that first point was, of course, that we started at the beginning about communicating. Now, for others of you, this is potentially new romance coming, so connect with your crown chakra through the Archangel of Uriel to ask for, a wonderful partner to be brought into your life if that is what you are seeking at this time. So very nice that you received a couple of angels in there for guidance, strength, clarity. Guidance, strength, clarity, and communication in particular. Let's finish the reading with one animal oracle card, because I've seen a few animals in your reading as well. This is for Gemini for July, June, and whenever else. There's really no timeline necessarily. These readings are very active and they can be informative for you at any time that you choose to connect with them. So this is for all Geminis, whether it's your sun, moon or rising. What would you like to give them a message of? This is very interesting because this was the card that came out for Pisces, which I did just earlier actually, and the same card has jumped out. There is something about surrendering for all of us, and again your first card was the desire for a more meaningful life, realizing it is time to move on and choosing to make major life changes. And in real essence that is surrendering to a specific outcome you had, or surrendering to letting go, or surrendering to new directions, surrendering to the change of karmic influences or new patterns. Definitely surrendering and letting go of a karmic hold that may have been over you for some time and it is coming to an end. But until we surrender, we find it very difficult to accept. And surrendering is allowing grace to come in and take place and take the shape and the destiny of where we're going in the future. Also, when you think of a moth is always heading to the light, and the light is where we find our future pathway and our insight and our answers. So I will read to you from the book for the moth. And I think too, especially at the moment globally, we are in a state of surrendering past attitudes on the planet, surrendering grief that we've all suffered from, surrendering power to the patriarchal system that has been governing the planet, surrendering a hold that has been over so many of us for so long. And as I say, in surrender comes freedom, and freedom is the future. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with spirit or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when moth spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it in more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all other pursuits that matter to you. Now is a time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using moth spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. And I think that is the great concept of what might be. The future is coming to us and it is awakening. And there are ideas and creativity and doors opening. And until we surrender that certain direction or thought or paradigm, then we can't see this, we can't experience it, and we can't be open to it. So there we are, Gemini. I think a lovely, powerful, insightful reading for you guys as we merge through these energies that are very, very strong in the middle of 2020. This reading has got a lot of insight for you and taking you forward through the rest of the year as well. So thank you all for joining me. Remember to check your moon and rising signs as well, because there could be some wonderful, insightful information in any of your other aspect or any of your other astrological aspects. So please have a wonderful, insightful, bright, manifested July and surrender to what isn't needed anymore. Be safe, be well, and be kind to each other. Much love. Namaste.